Does anyone know what the hole in the bottom is for? It's not actually a hole, but you know what I'm saying. My name is George Telford. I'm a traditional butler and have been for 30 odd years. A job that I've always wanted to do. You know, when you're a gentleman's gentleman, you start off by just getting the basics, getting to know how he likes his wardrobe, getting to know how he likes his food. A gentleman will always want to stick to routine rather than changing his daily program. You build up a trust with your gentleman, and that trust becomes a bond, and you just get to know each other, but you've still got to keep that distance. You learn a lot about that person that is very private, and yes, it can become very intimate, but it's something that you just live with and you get on with it. And you know, our very first priority as a butler is discretion. You know, discretion is very, very important. Discretion is loyal. If you're loyal to your principle, as we call it, trust is very, very much the bond that you build up. You know, there's a lot of temptation out there as a butler, a lot of temptation in front of you, because you're looking after some people who are very wealthy. They have got things in life that you perhaps want or crave for, and the temptation does come along for some people. But if that happens, then you're failing as a butler. You're failing in your duty of your discretion and your loyalty. So, you know, really, you should get out of that business. You don't belong in it. Hotel bedroom turn down varies. Actually, can I just cut there a minute? You're probably better with the new money, because there is money out there. Although people say there is no money in the world, there's no money in this country, there is money out there. People are taking on butlers and they're willing to pay the high price for a butler. The old money are the traditional people that have always had a butler. They just won't pay the dollars that the other people are willing to spend. They want to save on the household bills. They want to cut down on the electricity. Every room in the house, there might be 16 to 20 rooms in the house, and you go around every 2 minutes making sure the lights are turned off. Whereas the new money, you know, everything is very different today than what it was 25, 30 years ago. So when you walk into a hotel bedroom, the new money today is they want to flaunt what they've got. Whereas the old traditional principle, if you like, that used to have the butler years ago, they're scrimping and saving, and they've got into their way of life that's what they continue doing, although they probably get more money than the person with the new money today. The butler what done it in any crime story or Mrs. Marple or whatever, the butler is always the one who gets the blame because he says nothing. They go around the household, they'll go to the maids, they'll go to the chef, they'll go around the gardens, and they'll interview everybody. They're all very open of what went on, but the butler, sticking to his discretion and his loyalty, will not say a thing. He will keep it to himself. So, you know, what the butler saw and what he did is two different things. He can see and hear, but he won't say. Of course the butler sees saucy stuff. He's walked in on many things, like I have, but I've just quickly, abruptly walked out. You know, you've got to know as a butler when to say good morning and when to say good night. Once you learn that, again, it's the basics. You know exactly what time he's going to bed. If you see an intimate moment between him and the lady of the house or mistress or someone like that, you know when to just move out and say good night. So the throw over on the bed, you know exactly what he's thinking, and that is a good butler. Always put forward something to bring into a conversation rather than wait for him to say it. You tell him what he's thinking. You know, I was inspired by one of the Scotland's most famous actors, Gordon Jackson, in Upstairs, Downstairs. And I was just a child at the time. Watching him work in that program was something that I just loved. I was born to do. Born to serve, I suppose, is something that I've done. I've done it from day one. From my very first job, I've wanted to be in hospitality. I've wanted to be able to serve, and that's what I've done from day one.